But you did put them on there above
No, I didn't.
bands that rightly deserved.
I didn't rank mine.
No, but you kind of did, because you threw a bunch of bands in the fifth
right.
spot.
Well, in that one, because
to be showcased and talked about with reverence and importance, because
agreed,
dude, Interrupters wouldn't even exist without these bands I'm fixing to bring up.
Agreed. No, I actually ended up putting the Interrupters on my list because I just picked who have I listened to the most in the last 10 years. And they were way up there. And I don't even know if they can be considered a punk band after listening to a lot of them. Yes, there's punk stuff in there, but their core is the ska stuff. And even on their last album, which has no punk on it, if there's a base to it, it's the ska stuff.
I disagree with that completely. Their last album is very punk rock in my opinion. But right above does Sublime deserve to be on this list literally is do the Interrupters deserve to be on this list?
I like how I was like in 10th place on your list. Is where I was.
How crazy is that?
That was, and this one, the Interrupters piss people off anyway.
That's true.
I didn't put this on there to piss people off. It absolutely.
But you did put them on there above.
No, I didn't.
Bands that rightly deserved.
I didn't rank mine.
No, but you kind of did, because you threw a bunch of bands in the fifth spot.
Well, and that was because
to be showcased and talked about with reverence and importance, because dude, Interrupters wouldn't even exist without these bands I'm fixing to bring up.
Agreed, but I thought influences weren't important to this list.
Not wholly important.
Right.
I mean, we could take Influence off if you want, so they're still not as good as those other bands.
Okay, but, and that's fair. You know, that's fair.
so like, yeah, you are right. I did say that. So yeah, we'll just take that part.
But, and obviously the newest band on this list is going to be the least influential, especially a band that has nothing but influence from other bands. So the reason that I don't think they deserve to be on the list, oh goodness, man, I have a shirt, all the records. I love the music. Okay. Mm-hmm. I've learned a little bit about them, dude, and they don't even really they're not even like a real band. Like, if we're going to put them on there, then we got to put Rancid on there, because Rancid would be important over them anyways. And they're the same kind of band. Right. And Tim writes half their music to my understanding. Now, if I'm wrong, correct me, please. But to my understanding, they weren't an organically formed band. To my understanding, Tim writes a bunch of, if not most of, the music. Tim connected the singer and the band. Yeah, Tim connected the band members are all brothers who were working with Tim, and then connected them with the singer.
It's basically like I can make a record with this, which I don't even have a problem with.
Right, and I'll submit to all those things. That's not real, but I always say that is the case, but that.
But it gives me as a hardcore lifelong DIY advocate and punk rock person, that to me is so suspect, dude. Like, it's just, I'm not even mad at Tim, because Tim DIY'd a punk band.
It's your hero assembly it, though. It's your hero who's the puppet master, if that's the case.
If my hero murdered somebody, I would still be like, well, that's up. Like, I wouldn't be okay with it. Like, I'm not mad at Tim. I'm not even how do I say this? I'm not mad at anybody. I don't care about it. Mm-hmm. But I'm not I don't have a problem with Tim doing it, because Tim DIY'd up a punk band he could listen to. There's nothing wrong with that. But, the project is not really what I want to put my name behind. I'll still go watch them. My daughter likes them. It's a good gateway band, but I don't think the Interrupters are. Yeah, man, it's one. I don't know, but here's the thing, though. Wife's first show was Interrupters. One of the first bands that got me back into music was the Interrupters. So I really have to contradict myself, and say that while I don't feel like they deserve to be on maybe my list, they deserve to be mentioned, because they're awesome, dude. Like, my opinions are just observations, and people take those as me saying I do or don't like something, or that I don't approve of it or whatever. That's never what I said. I just said that, hey, look, this is weird to me. This is what they did with it. Maybe I did say something about approving it or not. But it doesn't mean I don't like it. It doesn't mean that I don't think you should like it. It doesn't. But yeah, man, I thought, dude, that is a fucking bonkers list you put out there, man. Like, I am so surprised looking at this. Like, I really didn't think you were going to say Goldfinger. I was like, there's no way. It's not a punk band, ska punk band. It's not ska at all. And then you even said like, yeah, they're not. I'm so shocked by this list.
And
well,
again,
that gives me.
I would have like, okay, I was thinking Goldfinger was one of the bands sitting in my head, and last week you said, well, they're not a ska. I'm like, yeah, they are. And I went to go investigate it, and I think it proved you right, but then I still kept them on the list because my investigation kind of turned that up with a lot of these bands though. That was why I think my list turned out to be
what other bands
did
that happen with though? Sublime. I never called them a ska punk band personally, anyways.
Yeah, so them I went specifically to look for ska with them. That was a little bit different. That was almost the opposite. Whereas, like, again, Less Than Jake, when I was kind of going through Less Than Jake, there was a lot more of it than I had kind of thought of. And I think because with them, it is more native to their music than these other bands that we are talking about.
Yeah,
their songs, even though I think maybe at their core you can say they're really pop punk songs or power pop songs or whatnot. But they are written, I think, with ska in mind so often. And a lot of what I was finding is a lot of music that was very influenced by ska and less of stuff that was doing ska. And I think that was really the theme of my list throughout is the stuff that used ska. Taking just that little bit of the ska bands that we kind of took out of it, just sort of, I don't know, colored it a little bit.
Well,
you get us on track with a good list.
I'm gonna have to, man.